Disclaimer. I doesn't claim any of the arts. All the picture shown belongs to the respective artist and company. If you are original owner and want me to remove the video, I will do it immediately. Just send me an email to inform me. The supervisor, Ma Do-hak, wants to decide based on the number of votes. But Kim didn't pay attention to the supervisor's words and ran fast towards the path he chose. Everyone was shocked by Kim's action, and the supervisor disapproved of Kim's individual action, saying it was dangerous. "Quick, come back now, candidate Kim Tae-yun," he called. While Kim is running, he says that it doesn't matter and urges them to follow him. The supervisor disapproves of Kim's decision to choose the path alone, but Kim wants to make sure they take a different path than before his regression. Kim slides down the dungeon's tunnel and continues on his chosen path. Given the discovery of Apocalypto, Kim can't let that happen, even if it kills him. The supervisor and other party members are following Kim, but contrary to Kim's expectation, they ended up at the entrance of the second dungeon. Kim was shocked. Despite taking a different path, he still ended up at the entrance of the second dungeon. Kim couldn't understand it. One of the party members tries to touch it, and Kim stops him, saying, "There is another gate inside a dungeon. It's obvious that it's not usual. In this particular case, it's more important to report it. Isn't that so, player Ma Do-hak?" This is the first time Ma Do-hak encounters a case like this. He says that the proper protocol is to report it to headquarters. While he says that, Kim is relieved. But Ma Do-hak makes an exception this time and wants to go in. With that, Kim gets shocked. He wants to stop Ma Do-hak from entering the second dungeon, but Ma Do-hak says, "I understand what candidate Kim Tae-yun means. However, the magic coming from inside the gate doesn't seem too dangerous, even though it appears like this. Besides, it's only a D-rank dungeon. Even if something happens, there is me, an A-rank player here. And would it be a gate prepared by the association or an anomaly? Explore it well, and of course, I'll give you a better score." Kim couldn't believe that player Ma Do-hak is saying this. Kim wants to continue disagreeing with Ma Do-hak, but he gets stopped by Ma Do-hak. Kim doesn't understand what teamwork is, and every member of the team agrees with Ma Do-hak, telling Kim not to be so arrogant because of his skills. Kim should not be debating with the option of an active player. Kim gets angry about his team member's decision. The decision has been made. Kim wants Ma Do-hak to think again, but Ma Do-hak does not pay attention to Kim's words. He touches the gate, and the entire tunnel fills with a huge wave of white light. Kim opens his eyes and sees that all of them have been transported to the second dungeon. Player Ma Do-hak is shocked and scared. He couldn't understand what he was seeing. Everyone in the first party is also shocked and confused, wondering if this place really is a D-rank dungeon. Then we see the place all of them are in, a big hallway with a big statue at the end. The standing statue has a crown-like halo at the back of its head and is holding a sword. It also has a cape and armor on its body. All of the team members are scared, even player Ma Do-hak. But Kim goes to the front, makes them gather themselves, and gets ready for what is coming. Because something is coming. When the dust clears, we see that two knights with swords are getting closer to them. Ma Do-hak and other team members were frozen by fear. They didn't know why A-rank monsters, Death Knights, were here. All of a sudden, Ma Do-hak gathers his senses and makes everyone ready to fight the knights. The knights are close and attack them with their swords and spears. They dodge the attack. Ma Do-hak makes his move and attacks the knights with his skill. He sends molten material towards the knights, and the molten material enters the bodies of the knights in the form of a spear, lifting them off the ground. The knights remain motionless in the air. All of the first party members with player Ma Do-hak attack the knights together with all their force. They use fire and lightning to the maximum to blind them, and those wearing a shield protect the front line. The rest don't give the enemy any space. With this plan, they fought the Dark Knights and were able to defeat them. Finally, the knights fall to the ground. All of the party members breathe a sigh of relief. They couldn't believe they defeated A-rank monsters. While one of them is too happy about their small victory, he says, "They are nothing! Come on, let them come again!" 4 of the knights were getting closer to them. They didn't know how to fight all 4 of them. We see the first explorer party. They seem tired because of their fight with the Death Knights. But their fight hasn't ended yet, and 4 of the Death Knights are coming at them. They were panicking. They didn't know how to stop them. Then we see Kim examining the Death Knights' corpses. Kim notices something here. We see Kim among all the Death Knights' corpses that the first party explorers and Kim had defeated. The first party supervisor, Ma Dohak, is worried. We don't know how to stop the Death Knights because every time they defeat one knight, they just come back in greater numbers. On top of that, everyone in the first explorer party is already at their limits. At this rate, they're all going to die. Kim finishes examining the Death Knights' corpses and wants to share what he found with the first party members. Kim calls player Ma Dohak and says to him that something is off. Player Ma Dohak wonders who this guy is. After all the fighting, he's not even that tired, and he was the first one to realize that this gate was dangerous. Also, if it weren't for our stats being higher because of Kim Tae-hyun's skill monarch's heart, we wouldn't have even lasted this long. Is he really a C-rank awaken? Player Ma Dohak says to Kim, "What do you mean by something's off?" Kim says that he's guessing here, but those are not Death Knights. Everyone in the first party gets shocked. They couldn't believe Kim's words, and they said that Kim is talking nonsense. If there aren't Death Knights, then what have they been fighting for so long? Kim says that he is going to go find that out now. Kim picks up one of the Death Knight's swords, activates his stone skin skill, and gets ready to attack the Death Knights. With a sword in his hand, he spirits with full speed to fight the Death Knights. He gets in front of the Death Knights and prepares his sword to swing at the Death Knights. The Knights prepare their weapons to attack Kim. They attack Kim with their combined force and they get confused. They didn't hit anything because at the last moment, Kim jumps in the air to avoid getting hit by the Knights. He passes the Knights. Kim passes over their heads with full speed. Kim didn't want to fight with the approaching Knights. Kim prepares his sword to attack the Death Knights at the end of the hallway. Kim throws his sword at the Knight. The sword hits the Knight in the head and cracks his mask. The head of the Death Knight statue gets destroyed by the sword, and with that, all of the other Knights that they were behind Kim disappear. Even the hallway was an illusion. With Kim's attack, the hallway's illusion disappears. The first party couldn't believe what they were seeing. All this time they were fighting with illusions. Now player Ma Dohak understands that it was an illusion trap. Kim gets closer to the first party and explains that it was a trap that shows you an imaginary space and enemies. It's a tactic to drain the intruder's energy. The first party members couldn't believe that they were struggling to fight because of mere illusions, and something worse will follow after this. Player Ma Dohak wonders how did Kim know this was a trap? And Kim shouldn't have ever fought with the Death Knight either, so how? Kim responds that even if he may not know much about it, there's no way they would have been that weak. Kim suggests that they have to get moving before they all get killed. The illusion faded, but things didn't get any better. After Apocalypto's manifestation, the injuries inflicted in the battle against the illusion got worse. Yet we couldn't just wait for rescue. Their only hope left was to find the dungeon's exit. After walking through the dungeon for a while, the first party found something. A giant door, a big gate. They wanted to open it, but it was too dangerous. And because they didn't have any other choice, if they don't open it, they will perish here. Player Ma Dohak gets closer to the door and opens it. He is shocked by what he sees. Another Death Knight. This one was kneeling with a sword in his hand. The first party members think there was just one Death Knight, but in a moment, a large number of them emerged from the darkness. The first party couldn't believe what they were seeing. The torches of the hall are lit with fire. With the lighting of the hall, the general view of the hall was seen, and all the knights appeared, all of them standing one after the other on their platforms with swords in their hands as if they were ready to attack. There were so many of them in that place. If all of the Death Knights attacked, would they be able to defeat them? The first party members get scared by seeing all of these Death Knights. In a moment, a terrifying presence up in the stairs speaks to them. "You lowly humans came all the way here, huh? So be it. Let the battle begin." This presence was Master of Doublegate Apocalypto, Lord of the Death Knights with S rank. Thank you for watching this video until the end. Stay tuned for the next chapters.